Look how awesome this looks. What is going on, guys? It's Austin with Gone at 60. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm gonna make this really quick because it is freezing out here. Guys, check this out. I'm up here in Deer Valley, Utah at the Montage. We're almost at like 9,000 feet of elevation. The Camaro, it made it up here safely. It was just before it snowed. I saw the storm clouds rolling in and I punched it. But guys, today I've been getting a lot of questions around, Austin, what do you think of your Camaro so far? I've owned the car for a month. I've put 1,000 miles on it. Let's jump into what I think so far of my Chevy Camaro 2SS 1LE, and let's get right after it, guys. All right, guys, we've made it off of the mountain. We are on dry roads. We're safe. So I want to jump into first the two questions that I get asked the most about this car since I've owned it. I've owned it for a month. I have about 1,000 miles on it. I want to give you guys my impressions. Now, I'm definitely still in the honeymoon phase, so I don't want to go too far in depth, but I want to answer two popular questions I get. I want to share with you things that I'm liking so far, as well as some concerns I have with the car. So hopefully today I can capture that for you guys. Hopefully I can cover a lot of the topics and a lot of the questions that you guys have sent my way. And let me jump into the first couple questions that I get. So the first question that I get asked all the time is, Austin, is this better than your Challenger, Mustang? And honestly, I don't know yet. I'm still in the honeymoon phase and I'm not ready to answer that. I can tell you, I love this car and I'm really excited about owning this car, and I have zero regrets about my purchase. But with only 1,000 miles under the car so far, I will do that video. I will jump into that topic. I think it's awesome that I've owned all three. I can't wait to share with you guys my perspective on it. I'm just not ready to yet because I want to make sure the review is in depth and I don't change my mind later on. The second question that I get asked all the time is, Austin, how is the visibility on the car? And I will share this. I don't have any issues with the visibility. With the 2SS, I've shared this in a previous video, but my rear view mirror turns into a camera. So out the back, I have amazing visibility. You do sit lower in the car. The window sills are up a lot higher. When I go to get fast food at a restaurant, sometimes I have to be very careful of how they get the food in here or the drink. But for the most part, the visibility is not a problem. Out the back, I have great visibility. Out the sides, I don't notice it. So when you have blind spot monitoring, I use that, and I don't have any issues so far, guys, with that. The only thing I will say about the visibility, I am 5'11" tall. If you are a lot over 6 feet, I don't know if this is the best car for you. Now, you definitely have headroom. I can go up quite a bit. You know, I have, I don't know, I spike my hair, but I probably have 4 inches or so above me for headroom. You know, obviously, there's a lot of people that track these cars. I'm sure they took that into account. For the only time I struggle with a little bit of visibility is at stoplights. Sometimes I have to get down just a little bit to be able to see the light. I've had to do that before a little bit in my other cars, but definitely more in this one. So for me, visibility, not a problem. If you adjust your mirrors right, obviously the video camera up here makes it super nice. If I didn't have this, I still think visibility would be okay. If your car doesn't have blind spot monitoring, or if it doesn't have this, then yeah, visibility sucks in this car and it'd be hard. But not an issue for me, not a problem. All right, so let me jump into the things that so far I've really liked and enjoyed about the car. The first thing that really surprised me about the car is the exhaust. And you know, it definitely has a different sound compared to the Challenger and Mustang. I'd kind of say it's in between. But when I'm talking about the exhaust, the thing that really has shocked me for a stock system is how much this car pops, backfires, gurgles, whatever you want to call it. You know, when you're around 2,000–3,000 RPM, you let off if you're going down a hill, and you let off the gas. If you push on the gas, let off, it pops and cracks, and man, it sounds so good. My Challenger did a little bit. My Mustang did more than my Challenger. It does have some deep tones when you start it up like a Challenger, but see right there, you can hear it. I mean, I'm just barely creeping along and it pops. So I've loved that about the car. Another thing that I've really enjoyed about the car is the torque on the car. I don't think I realized how much I miss torque until I got into this car. You know, my Mustang had 420 pound-feet of torque. That car pulled really well at the top end, but down at the low end, it just didn't pull that well. And the Camaro is really a good marriage between the Challenger and the Mustang, and I'm still braking in the car. You have to go 1,500 miles on this thing to break it in, but you do feel that low end punch down low, which I really like, throws you back in your seat, so I've really enjoyed that. Other things that I've enjoyed so far about this car is just the technology. You know, obviously this car has a heads-up display. I love that. I never really have to kind of get down here and kind of mess with different settings or things. Everything I want is up in my heads-up display, my RPMs, my G's around the corner, the gear that I'm in, the song I'm listening to. So really the technology is awesome. Obviously the interior lighting's really sweet, and I've really enjoyed just how this car is. You know, something that I've also enjoyed, the sound system in this, I will easily say, is better than any premium sound system you can buy in a Challenger or Mustang. The Bose, even at half volume, this thing rocks. And I'm picky about my sound. I think if you're not, you know, really into sound, all of them will serve its purpose. But this system, I never have to have up more than 3/4 of the way. It really pumps out a lot of sound, and it's really good from that perspective. So I've really enjoyed the sound system in the car, and that's something that is big to me. It's important to me. Okay, another thing that I've really enjoyed so far about this car is the shifter, the shift assembly, all of it, transmission. It is so precise. It is so smooth. You know, with the Challenger, you kind of float around a little bit looking for gears unless you change out the shifting assembly. My Mustang, that sucker grinded in second and third, first, grinded so much. This car, so smooth, so precise. The shifts, it's just back, it's up, it's back. I love it. That's something that I've really enjoyed, and that was my biggest pain point with the Mustang. A lot of people break shift forks. It's just not meant to take the abuse, and that's why in the Mach 1 and the Shelbys, they put the Tremec in it. This has the Tremec, but so far I've loved the 6-speed transmission in this car. It's very precise, and we'll jump into that in a little bit later video because I've owned manuals in all 3 cars, the Challenger, Mustang, and now the Camaro. Another thing that I've really enjoyed about the car is the looks of this car. I'm a little bit biased, but I think this is the sexiest car that I've owned. It's short, it's compact. The wheels on this car, I love the 1LE rims. They look so good, so amazing, and just the styling, I haven't gotten sick of it. I love the color that I went with. It's so much easier to keep clean, but just the looks and the styling, and I've already had so many people stop me on it, and I really love the looks of the car. Maybe that might change over time, but I've really enjoyed that. Something that I recently discovered, and I knew this car does really well at handling. Obviously the 1LE is the track package, but as you guys saw, you know, I was obviously up in the mountains. I had a chance to go around corners pretty good. This car handles so well going around corners. Like, it is insane how planted and how flat this car handles going around corners, and it's something that I've really enjoyed, and I can't wait to be able to get above 4,000 RPM, run this thing out to 6,500, maybe 7 grand, and really just take these corners at higher speeds, because this thing, I mean, I've taken corners at 70, 80 miles an hour, no problem. This car is just very planted, and it sticks very well. So next, let me jump into concerns that I have about the car and things that I'm keeping my eye on that might be a problem down the road. So this next thing that I want to talk about is obviously a concern for me and an issue. However, I don't know if it's my phone. So I have an iPhone 11 Pro, and one issue that I've had with this car, and I've also had it in my wife's Honda Odyssey lately, so it might be my phone. I just barely updated my software. I'm one of those guys that's very late to update their software because I do think it slows down your phone or doesn't perform well. But I've had a lot of issues with my phone connecting to Apple CarPlay, but my phone will disconnect quite a bit, and I think it's more my phone than it is the car. We will be updating our phones here shortly, so I don't want to just put that on something like I hate, but it's something that it has bugged me, but it might just be my phone. So if any of you out there have a Camaro, you have this issue, please let me know. If you know a workaround to it, please let me know. But I have had a lot of issues with my phone lately, just making phone calls and different stuff, even when I'm not in the car. So it might just be a phone thing. I updated the software last night. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Oh, I see you, Taco Bell. Time for some chalupas. All right, so while I'm waiting for my food, let me just end the video with a few things that I'm keeping my eye on that maybe I don't like, maybe I might change my opinion over. But, you know, one thing, you know, these 2 paddles right here, these are for rev match. In my Mustang, I like better that my auto rev match always stayed on. Honestly, it's really easy. You flick a button and it comes on, flick a button, it turns off. However, when I start up the car, I have to do that every time. It's not a big pain. However, I can see when you're at the track and maybe you want to do that, maybe you want it off. It's really easy. Having it in both spots, I think it's kind of weird, but I understand why they do that. That is something that, not a big thing, but I've noticed I don't use auto rev match as much because it has that. So one thing I definitely want to warn you guys about if you're buying the 1LE, I am so glad I got paint protection film put on my rear quarters. That video is coming, I promise, guys. This car flips up so many rocks. These tires are so sticky. My paint protection film, each side literally probably has 7 to 10 spots in it where rocks have flipped up and hit it. If you're not protecting your car, guys, and you buy one of these cars, it is going to trash your paint. And where it's at is right before the rear fender wells. So get paint protection film put on. I'm getting some ZL rock guards put on. I'll show some clips for you guys just so you can see what it looks like, but definitely the paint protection film from Expel's doing its job, but it is taking a beating back there. So if you're buying this car, it has flipped up rocks more than any car that I've owned. So you definitely don't want to be traveling very far, or switch out the tires, whatever it might be, but you need to get that protected back there. And the last two things that I'll share that I'm keeping my eye on, obviously sit a lot lower in this car. I notice because of the Recaros, I hit my butt over here quite a bit. And yes, this is how I work. Business up top, pajamas in the bottom. But definitely hit my butt as I get in the car on these, on the sides of the Recaros. It definitely, I don't know, I hit it quite a bit. But anyways, let me order some food.
Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. How can I help you?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going.
It's going. That doesn't sound very good.
It has been a very long day.
I'm sorry. I appreciate your help.
No problem. What can I do for you?
Do you still have your chalupa box?
So the chalupa box we don't have anymore. The only boxes I have are the Cantina Crispy Melt box and the Deluxe Cravings box.
Let's do the Deluxe Cravings box. And on my chalupa, can I get that with no sour cream, please? And can I get that with beef instead of steak?
All right, so you want a beef chalupa, no sour cream?
Yep.
How's that look?
That looks good. And then for the drink, just a Baja Blast.
And any sauce today? Mild, fire, Diablo?
Let's do some fire sauce, please.
All right, it's going to be 7:56. I'll see you at the window.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that, guys. You know, when you ask people how their day's going, we're so accustomed in life just to be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. But you can hear it in people's voice when they're not okay. And guys, let's try and make everybody have a better day. Let's, you know, people working at fast food, wherever they're at, like, let's be kinder, let's be nicer, let's realize everybody has challenges. I'm not perfect. And honestly, a lot of times I'm like, I'm not okay, I'm not fine. But anyways, going off on a rant there. But yeah, guys, one thing I'm keeping a notice on is I worry about the wear of the Recaro seats getting in. This car you sit a lot lower on. And I noticed that I hit my butt a lot of times on these bolsters before I get in. And the other thing that, you know, I've shared with you guys down here is the ventilated seats. My Mustang was AC cooled. These are not AC cooled. So you need to have air going to the floor to be able to feel the ventilated seats. What I've noticed is they're okay. My Mustang's was way better. It's not a make or break thing for me. And my Mustang, I had them on all the time. And that's something I'm keeping an eye on. And then the last thing, you know, I have noticed the Alcantara, you know, I like it so far, you know, on the shifter, I liked on the steering wheel, on the seats. I haven't had to clean it yet, but that is something I'm keeping an eye on, is how well they hold up, how well they stay clean, but I definitely think they're going to take more maintenance. Anyways, guys, that is everything. That is everything so far, my impressions about the car. I'm not really ready to say, oh, I absolutely hate this or I absolutely love this. I definitely am loving the car. I will be sharing with you guys things that I love, things that I hate, but I want some more time behind the wheel before I can give you guys just kind of an accurate review. However, those are my initial impressions. But thank you guys for all the support on the channel. I really appreciate it. We just keep blowing up, and it's thanks to you guys. Couldn't do it without you. Really appreciate all the support. Give me a like, give me a comment, give me a subscribe, please. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace. Baby pull.